Building awareness. Now, a lot of people will guide you on, well, keep Facebook for personal and use LinkedIn for professional. I break all those boundaries constantly, and so far it's worked. It will not work for everyone. But in this particular case, I took a snippet. It's Ron Miller. He's a very well-known tech journalist. He follows my area of technology and content management very closely. He actually quoted an argument I picked with some of my ex-colleagues on my Facebook status line and used that as inspiration for his editorial comment after a trade show in May. So, and because I pointed it to it, I said, hey, look at everyone arguing with me. I sent him a link, he's a Facebook friend, and so then he wrote about it. Awesome. How much money did that cost me? Nothing. Maybe 5 minutes of, hey, go read what so-and-so said about this. So I do like to stir it up. And it is a fine line, and not everyone will be comfortable with that line. But the opportunity to converse and challenge and debate is so wide open right now that if you really think about who you want to target, what you want to say, whose buttons you want to push, the ability to do it is almost unlimited.
Just a quick point on that. That's something actually I struggle with regularly, because I find I'm not only judged by what I say, but what my friends will say and what my associates may post or comment or etc. How would you manage that portion of it?
Well, I have absolutely deleted things, where one of my personal friends jump in and knows nothing about what's going on in the thread and just making some kind of stupid comment. I'll delete that, no problem. But it because I'm the C-level, I get to set the rules a little bit. Not everyone has that luxury. But if it really depends on where you are in the company and what is the goal of the company. I mean, if I was working for a larger corporation where there was appropriate use policies that were more heavy-handed and restrictive about what do I discuss in particular channels, I would absolutely respect that. But I'm not in a large company trying to preserve a reputation. I'm in a small company that is trying to expand and grow. And so I do have a little bit more luxury than a lot of people do. I understand that. Just because of the state of the organization that I currently work for.
Just a follow-up to that, do you find it then restricts the benefit of some of those social media outlets? I personally, Facebook is strictly for family, friends, and no business contacts for that reason.
Yep. And so, this debate could have easily taken place on LinkedIn.
Right.
Could have absolutely happened there. It didn't in this case, but that's just because where I've chosen to make these connections, not everyone will make that choice. But this could have happened on even an industry association discussion board. I mean, it's not so much, it's think about where are those participants, not so much the platform, because again, that debate could have happened anywhere. Which then takes me to the point, I mean, if you're not ready to get out there, under your own name with your own blog or your own Twitter experience, and you don't want to kind of get too much into the discussion, everyone has some kind of industry association environment that they can join up. This is where I tended to spend a little bit more time, but this happens to be one of the key enterprise content management associations that I made sure that my staff and myself were well involved with. So it is a way to then cross-promote events, press releases, announcements, etc., etc. Anyone here not use SlideShare? Or who does use SlideShare? Okay. I find a lot of people don't realize just how incredibly valuable SlideShare can be for content. I usually refer to it as the YouTube for PowerPoints, and people go, oh, that sounds interesting. I use this for research all the time. I mean, amazing competitive intelligence on SlideShare. But we've actually got leads from this. People are looking for this particular kind of technology offering. Your deck looked like it made sense. You're talking about the kinds of trends that are important to me, and they will actually contact us. So that has been a surprising source of actual qualified leads. And I guess just in terms of a wrap-up, and we can open up for discussion, never underestimate the power of just being really passionate about what you're doing. I've been extremely lucky in that I've managed to find an area of the technology industry that I truly love, and I'm in it for very specific non-monetary reasons in addition to having a really good career. I didn't study IT, I am not a developer. I came into the world of content management because I did graduate work in history. So I've always been utterly fascinated by the requirement to preserve digital content. So a generation from now, okay, when I retire and go, I want to research the history of Canadian government in the 1980s and 90s, when that whole email era was just coming on board and everyone started to get their own word processors. Do you actually think there's going to be big dusty boxes full of all of those records? Because that was a generation where they fired all the admin clerks and record clerks. So my waking nightmare has always been going back and finding all those empty boxes in our national archives or in our corporate archives. So that's actually been kind of my motivation for sticking in this industry. So when I realized that the BBC History of the World site is powered by Nuncio, I start crying. Because it's like this culmination of everything I always hoped my career would be, is are we capturing, preserving our digital legacy for the next generation in a way that people can actually read it and look at it, 20, 30, 100 years from now. So I'm actually just working on an article right now for opensource.com, and it's going to be all about, wouldn't it be the ultimate irony, if not tragedy, that this era of information overload today is going to be the dark ages 2.0, because we've not thought about the preservation issues of all of these wonderful things that we're writing and producing every single day now on this big open social web. And that terrifies me. So projects like this give me hope, and the fact that we're part of it just makes me thrilled. So with that, we can open it up to discussions. Excellent presentation.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Does anybody have any questions of Cheryl? I can start.
Okay.
What's this is maybe not direct to what you presented on. What do you strikes you as the biggest difference of working for a small business, because there are a lot of small business owners here, versus open text? Some of the key things that you noticed.
For me, it was a real sense of liberation, in the sense that I was in an annual review in the last 2 or 3 years. I can't remember it. And I used this line, I've used it again, and when Gaping Void used it as a blog post title, again, that was like one of those career highlight moments for me, I said, I wanted to live in the market and not in a spreadsheet. And with a large company, you tend to live in a spreadsheet, right? You're modeling things. My soul was being crushed by the pivot table, is the way that I put it. So when I can not have to spend 8 hours a day managing a spreadsheet with SKUs and revenue and blah blah blah, and I can actually be out there figuring out where does this technology need to be in 2 years, so I can figure that out today and help guide the company and set us up for becoming a major competitor. That's where I want to be. I want to live in the market, not in a spreadsheet. So that's been the first thing. Second is just the ability to get things done fast. The decision-making cycle in a small company is usually much, much quicker. You can get people on a chat, on the phone, fewer layers of bureaucracy to go up and down the chain for approvals and signatures. So I think that's it, is the ability to be more agile and responsive to where the market's going and just getting things done faster.